quite delicious.
There includes some GM food inside. How could we eat GM food?
What are GM foods?
GM food, the whole name is genetic modified food. They are food derived from the genetic modified organism. And genetic modification means to insert or delete a series of genes into the organism, and which make them have some specific changes.
Oh, really?
However, they are not good.
What? Really? What am I eating? How convenient to sow this kind of
Hey
poison
Joy, calm down.
Don't worry, okay?
GM food is just like no more food. They taste no different.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, let me tell you the truth. Hello everyone, today our topic is non-genetic modified food. And the main thought of our speech is stop eating GM food. GM food makes up 60 to 80% of food in the market. And with such a high percentage, that is the reason why all of us should pay closer attention to this issue. And we have done some research on this topic. We have books, magazine, and news report to support our speech. And today we are going to tell you first the truth about GM food, and second the reason why people eat GM food. And the last part is what you can do to stop eating GM food. So let's move to the first part.
You know what? On the annual days of defense against environmentalists in 2010 in Russia, Russian scientists has announced that GM foods are harmful for mammals. The researchers discovered that animals that eat GM food lose their ability to give birth to babies. You know what? They divided rats into two groups. One was fed with GM soybeans, while the other was fed with pure soybeans. Originally, everything went very smoothly. However, they noticed that the next generation of rats fed with GM foods, they grow slower and reach their sexual maturity very slowly. And very unfortunately, on the third generation, they lose the ability to give birth to their cubes completely. And they also got a lot of health problems which is not able to cure by current medical science. And this research is coincide with other researches in France and Austria. And next, growing GM crops will certainly break the ecosystem and cause unpredictable problems. Why? Because when people change the genes of GM crops, they also give GM crops some superiority over other plants. So, under the natural selection system, ordinary crops could not survive because of the existence of GM crops. So this will break the consistency of ecosystem. On the other hand, you know what? When, according to very important science research, according to Dr. Wenru Liao, he studied on the molecular biology. He noticed that GM crops had already passed their super genes to normal weeds and made them become super weeds, which is too tough to kill off. Nowadays, farmers spend 3 times more pesticides on farming in order to kill the super weeds. And this large amount of pesticides have already polluted our soil and our water supply system. Now that we know that GM foods are very harmful for mammals and growing GM crops brings no benefit for human beings, but why do people keep and still want to produce and grow the GM crops? In the next part, we are going to figure out this.
Now, why people eat GM food? There are 2 reasons. First is for farmers. Most farmers like GM food because they are easy to plant and have a higher tolerance against pests. And they can produce a larger harvest than normal plants. Then the reason why GM food were created is because people wanted to produce more and more food to feed the increasing population and improve farmers' life. Through the new technology, people believe that the farmers can have higher income and besides through the new technology, farming become more efficient. And the second reason is for people. More and more GM food are sought and used in the world, and they are so common that people are easy to get them. According to the statistics, more and more GM food are planted, especially in those developing countries. In 2004, 14% of corn and more than 50% of soybeans are GM food in the world, and that is just part of the number. People estimated that the number would continually increase in the following years. And according to the information, we can see that a large amount of GM food are in the market and the price is cheap. Therefore, the ingredient of ready-made food we buy may involve some GM food. And that is to say, you may eat some GM food in an unknown situation. After realizing the danger of GM food and why there are so many GM food, how can you get away from this? Well, let's see the solution.
Okay, here comes our main point today. That is stop eating GM food and natural farming. We should stop eating GM food because GM food has been proven to be harm to mammals, and we human beings are also mammals. So, how can we expect that we can exempt from the hurt of GM food? And second, due to the super weeds created by genetically modified technology, and the cost of farming will go up because farmers have to use more pesticides to kill super weeds, and our food will become more expensive and unhealthy in the end. And so there's a simple way to avoid GM food, that is watch the label on the food like this before you buy them. And next, I would like to introduce natural farming to you. Natural farming is also known as do-nothing farming. The term do-nothing farming is originated because farmers are considered only to be the facilitator. The real work is done by nature herself. So it does not use artificial fertilizer and pesticides. And the main idea of natural farming is to serve food with safety, quality, and nutrition. The natural farming brings out the power of living soil that sustains the earth and supports the true health of human family. Okay, in conclusion, we have introduced how harmful GM foods are and why GM foods are so pervasive. And let's we provide some solutions about how to eat health. So just to mention one time, check the food label before you buy GM food and buy natural food if available.
So, Joy, Amy, now do you know how horrible GM foods are?
Yeah, I will check food labels carefully in order not to buy any GM food.
Yeah, then decide to buy natural food in order to leave a beautiful earth to our next generation. And thank you.